Oh, hello Libra. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you for letting me read for you. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. All right, Two of Wands. You are in a very take charge kind of mood. I think that you have you've had enough of something. And you're kind of, I feel like you're sort of stepping in and you're saying, that's enough. It's done. I'm taking over. This is my thing. This is my space. This is my company, my job, my whatever it is, right? I feel like you're usually a very diplomatic person. You like to sort of hear everybody's opinion. You like to get all the vibes, you know. You like to kind of have the talk and make it a group effort. I feel like right now you're just sort of taking over. You're just kind of you're taking the wand and you're saying this. I'm doing it, you know. And I kind of feel like we've had this energy for you recently too. I wonder if one of the last readings in the last couple of weeks have had the Two of Wands as your first card. Because I feel like you're stepping into some kind of power right now. You know, I feel that you have this, like, you feel like you can really influence the whole world. This is a very good energy, but it's very powerful, right? So we have to be careful with this. There are things in life we cannot control, and there are things in life that we should not try to control. But there are a lot that we can. So you have a lot within your domain, right, that you're responsible for and that you can influence and you can have a direct control over. Can't really control what other people do though, right? But you can control how you behave, how you love, how you express yourself, how you connect with people, and you can control your own boundaries. All right. So we need to put this card into some context, see what's going on here. 5. Oh, wow. Okay. A lot of fire energy. Hierophant. Okay. There's someone that you're communicating with. Spirit saying, look elsewhere. That's not the person, right? 3 of Cups. We've got the Art card. We've got a Queen of Swords. The Magician. A 10 of Wands and a Princess of Cups. Very nice with the Princess of Cups at the end there. Spirit saying there's a slight delay in your plans right now. And maybe this is why we've got this fire energy right now, especially with coming off the 8. We feel that there's this certain speed, there's this momentum that was happening that suddenly now we're in a tangle and something's slowing you down, right? So something's sort of delaying those plans, right? We're going to select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're going to set it down right here. We're going to put Bubo, our mechanical owl, right there on top of that card. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction for that card, put it down in the comments. All right. Let's exercise our intuition. Now, what I want to show you here is our 3 major arcana cards. The Art or Temperance card, the Hierophant, and the Magician. The Magician is kind of... The Magician is trying to find a very tactful, very almost artistic or subtle or strategic way to communicate with people. And this is really about you trying to finesse your environment, right? And it's in the position of the environment. And that's a very crucial place because this is your This is your interface with people. This is how you're dealing with everybody. Now, you've got this idea of stepping up and taking control, but I wonder if the Five of Wands is kind of here saying that you can't treat everybody the same. You can't deal with everybody in your life the same way, right? If all you have is a hammer, everything's going to seem like a nail. We got other tools. We got to use other tools, you know? And that's kind of what the magician is doing, is learning how to speak with each person based on their energy and that shared energy. You're able to develop a rapport with everybody in your life and not just speak to everybody the same way. I can't speak to my grandma the same way I speak to, you know, my coworkers or my 4-year-old. You know, we've got to have different sort of techniques for everybody that we have in our lives, right? And I think the Hierophant here is you trying to get everybody on board. You're trying to get everybody on the same page. There is a certain standard to which you want your life to live according, you know, to live by. The Hierophant being that fixed earth energy, it's kind of like we've got this goals. It's your sort of it's your structure that you're trying to implement. You know, it's kind of like if it's maybe it is a work thing. You know, at work, you've got certain goals, certain standards, certain procedures or certain metrics that you're trying to meet every month, certain goals you're trying to reach, right? And those are the same. And whether I'm talking to you or you or you, this doesn't change. What has to change is the way you present this, right? And so depending on who you're talking to, you're going to have different ways of saying this. But this is the unchanging reality of the situation. So this is what you're trying to express to people. And I think that you're learning new ways to talk to people in order to get your goals realized. Okay? And so this really is, I think, in a way, is right up your alley, Libra, in terms of your diplomacy and your willingness to really build a rapport with people and to focus on those individual relationships. Okay? And I think that if we go into every relationship feeling like it's going to be a battle of wills, right? Well, then what we're creating is strife, fighting. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be disorder. It's going to be everybody competing, everybody. It's like you go into a situation with this kind of, with a kind of a standoffish energy, and the other person is going to meet you that way too. And I think you feel that too when you walk into a room and somebody's already has this kind of, you know, they've already like got their dukes up, you know, for a fight. Then that's the energy that comes out of you too. But again, you can't control what they do, but what you can control is your reaction to them. You don't have to, if somebody is bringing that sort of Five of Wands energy toward you, or that, you know, we can say the Two of Wands energy, you don't have to automatically sort of match them with that level of, you know, aggression or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So anyway, we've got our major arcana, and this, of course, is, you know, this is the furnace. This is the pressure cooker that you're in right now. And I think you've been in there for a minute. Yeah. Fire, 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 fire. Water, water, a little bit of air. And the air is important for you, because if you don't rise above some of this fire, in other words, if you don't rise above the frustration or the anger or the short tempers or the personality clashes, those kinds of feelings, right? Then we're not going to be able to see this for really what it is. It's kind of like no matter what's going on down below, whatever the storms are, you've got to be the Queen of Swords. You've got to be able to look at everything and say, okay, I see what's going on. I'm going to handle it professionally. I'm going to handle it strongly and assertively, like a boss, you know. But you're going to use tact and strategy. You're going to build rapport. Maybe you're a boss or a manager. Maybe this is you dealing with family members, dealing with friends, whatever it might be. The outcome that we want, of course, is our Three of Cups. We want everybody to be happy. And this is kind of like we're all hugging it out at the end. You're convincing everybody that this is the right way to do things. And by the end of the day, they're going to love it. All right? They're going to be so on board that it's really a celebration, because you have everybody's best interest at heart anyway. You know, there's a reason why this is going to work out your way. because I think your way is the best way. But we don't really have any earth energy right now. We have earth here with the Taurus energy, the Hierophant, but this is still in potential. We have a little bit of earth here in the Princess of Cups, because the princesses are the earth quality of the suit that they're in. So this is the earthy nature of water. You know, this is water that really can solidify. You know, let's say it's, you know, it's the ice cube or whatever. But more than that, I feel like this is the emotional energy, the dream energy that now is taking shape, and it's becoming something real. And I think at the end of the day, this is your dream that you're making a reality. Okay? And whether this is something personal, or if it's something at work, if it's your business or career, if it's a family thing, friends, whatever it is, you're trying to manifest your dream. Okay? Whatever that is. So we've got then the Hierophant, which is kind of it's that fixed earth energy. It's kind of like, well, in some sense, I kind of feel two ways about this. One, this is the image of your dream, right? And it's this way or the highway. This is how it's going to look no matter what. And so you're trying to sort of get everything in your life agreeing to this or conforming to this, right? And we might not really be talking about a lot of other people either. It feels like that, though. But it feels like it's energy in general. So whether it's one person or just sort of the external world in general, that it's just, we're kind of like shaking our fists saying, you better cooperate, you know? Like it's an old 50s movie or something. But there might not be a lot of other people specifically that we're talking about. But this is the sort of vision. And in some ways, since this is that fixed earth energy, I wonder if there's room for you to be a little bit more flexible about what this looks like. Or how it's kind of like we have this picture of perfection and nothing else is going to do it. You know? And if it isn't exactly like this, then it's nothing. It's this way or the highway, right? So maybe there's the idea too with the Magician that we can be a little bit more flexible in exactly how this dream is going to look. Because we want to manifest the dream. In some ways, it doesn't matter really how it looks, as long as we're manifesting it. You know, whatever this big goal is, whatever your sort of long-term plan is, whatever's going on here, it might look a little, the details might look different, right? The wallpaper might be a little bit different. You know, the color of the sofa might be different, but that's okay, right? I mean, those are in some ways, we have to be okay with compromising the inessential details while keeping the core principle Hierophant fixed, right? We're not budging on that. The little details, nah, who cares about those, right? Those are things that you can work with. Those are things that you can bring to the table as part of the compromise, part of the negotiation. But the Hierophant is kind of, these are the oh-no-nos, right? These are the non-negotiables. These are not on the table. Okay, whether maybe it's one core principle or something like that, but all the other things are sort of those details that you can play around with. You see what I mean? I think that you've been experiencing a lot of rapid growth in your life. I think with the Eight of Wands, things have been happening very fast, in some ways, it's kind of like you've gotten used to this pace. That I think there's been a lot of progress, there's been a lot of movement, a lot of activities, there's always something to do, and you feel like you're getting stuff done right and left, you know. Sometimes this card can tend toward anxiety, especially when we feel like we're being pulled in so many different directions that our head is spinning. But I kind of feel like you like that, you know. I feel like you're the type of person that likes to keep busy, and this is, whatever this work is, whatever this project is, it's certainly kept you busy. Yeah. But the issue now is that with the the Two of Wands, particularly, this feels like a big roadblock. It feels like you've been speeding through the hills or whatever on this road, and then suddenly you come to that big X, that big flashing stop sign, roadblock, kind of road is closed thing. So I don't know what this issue really is right now. But I feel, with the three of you, you're going to have a really good birthday. Okay, things are going to be very, very good for you once you get through this. And I think it really is just a matter of whatever this obstacle is. I don't know. It could be literally anything. But it's slowed down your progress. And I think that's frustrating more than anything. It's kind of like you're just cruising, you get all these green lights and everything's going great. Suddenly you get stuck by a train and it's like, oh, come on, But the Two of Wands is reminding us what we can and cannot control. You can't get the train to move any faster. Trust me, I've tried. I've yelled at the trains, hurry up. That doesn't work. Sometimes you yell at them, the trains stop on the tracks. And then like an hour goes by and, hey, where are you going? Get off the track. And you could drive down the road and go around the train, but who knows? It's a long train, And so you end up just kind of sitting there for a long time and waiting. But that's kind of the idea here with these two cards. What do? Do you sit and wait? Do you yell at the train? Do you turn around and try to find a different way to cross that street and get to the other side of town? Yeah. The Two of Wands, I think, is fundamentally realizing that can't control the train. If it's going to stop, it's going to stop. There's no sense in me wasting my energy, my emotional energy, by getting frustrated, by yelling, screaming, by, gripping the steering wheel real tight. There's no point in me freaking out. That's a loss of my energy. That is this train winning, right? That train then is pulling energy out of me. And that shows that I'm not fortified. Okay? When we react to a situation in that way, we're doing nothing but allowing the situation to drain our energy away. When that energy can be conserved, redirected toward other things, but also put into a constructive, proactive activity. Okay? In other words, I'm not going to sit there and get frustrated and honk the horn and yell and scream and grip the steering wheel and freak out and tear my hair and tear my clothes. No, that's a waste of that. I'm going to be tired after that, Instead, what we do, and I think that's why we need the air energy, and we got a little bit of air in the reading, which is good because we can breathe through it. But then figure out, okay, what do I do? Do I wait? And that would take the least amount of gas, probably, least amount of energy, but maybe it's going to take a long time. Maybe this train's going to stop. I'll be here all day. Do I back up, turn around? Do I drive to the left and go around the train that way? Or do I drive to the right and go around the train that way? Which is the front, which is the end, and which, So we start to formulate that kind of strategy. And we realize through this that every moment in your life where you're starting to feel a little annoyed or a little frustrated, it's a test from Spirit. Okay? And we have to look at it that way. And I think when we do, we're going to invoke our magician. And we're going to find a way to optimize things and get things solved, overcome this problem, to get to our joy, to get to that happiness. This is the Three of Cups when you get around the train and you're driving fast again and the wind is in your hair and you're just thinking, yes, I've beaten the train, I've gotten to the other side of the tracks, and that situation didn't get one over on me. Nope. These are those little wins in life, But I think this might be a bigger thing. Okay. We're going to talk now about the path of the serpent, and as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free, and it really does support the channel. I appreciate that. So your general energy in this situation is the Queen of Swords. You're rising above the situation. You're stuck at the train crossing, right? And the bars have come down, the bells are ringing, the lights are flashing, and you're in your car and you're stopped. The train's going slowly by. The train stops. You get more and more frustrated. Now, okay, you rise above the situation. You breathe through it. You try to look at it from above. You take yourself out of the situation. You look at it from almost a third-party perspective, yeah? Third-person kind of perspective. And you notice the way you're behaving. You see what's going on. You have this, you look at yourself. Your heart's beating real fast. You're sweating. You're gripping the steering wheel. You're grinding your teeth. Or are you just sitting back, put the car in park, and you're just kind of listening to the radio, and you're just hanging out, and you're looking around at the birds, or you're looking at all the graffiti on the trains, you know, all the train art. And then, of course, you look above that. You kind of you widen the shot, right? And you look at the whole train, you look at the whole situation and think, okay, well, maybe this train, yeah, it's moving. It's not going to take very long, so I'm just going to wait. Or you see, okay, the train stopped. Which end is shorter, right? Do I want to go left or right? We start to look at the bigger picture. And not only that, we can pull the camera back even further. And we could say that in the grand scheme of things, getting stuck behind a train for 20 minutes ain't that big a deal. It certainly feels like it when we're right here in the middle of all this fire. But when you rise up to this height, we see it's not. This is just a little tiny blip, a little tiny grain of sand, a little hiccup in the grand scheme of things, and I'm still getting, you know, I'm still sort of, my plan is still intact. Right? Everything is fine, you know. And of course, the magician is how we then choose to react, how we choose to exert our will in the situation. This is kind of the strategy, this is the subtlety, this is building rapport, this is our interface, this is our adaptability, this is your magical ability to optimize the situation. Stuck behind a train. Okay, well, maybe you make a phone call, put the car in park, maybe you make some phone calls you've been needing to make. Maybe you listen to something on the radio that you really wanted to pay attention to, you know, and it's now you're stopped. You can pay attention a little bit more, you know. I'm not going to suggest you read anything or anything like that, but it's or maybe you do you do breathing exercises, right? Something like this. It's about optimizing the situation, and that involves two things. One, it involves realizing what we can have influence over. That, you know, I can influence, I can optimize myself. I can optimize what I'm doing in response to this situation. I can control things about me and my, you know, my experience. But we also try to, you know, it's kind of that adaptability, right? We can take the situation exactly as it is, and I can adapt to it, and I can make it the best. You're stuck behind a train. All right, I'm just going to make the best of it. You know, and just simply that. So the car's in park. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to look outside. I'm going to breathe, and, you know, whatever. But we can also sort of, you know, if we don't really like the situation, if it doesn't seem to be optimal, you know, on its own, we start to wonder, well, can I change the situation? So adaptability is not just us sort of acquiescing to all the details of the situation and say, I can't do anything, so I'm gonna make the best of it. Well, maybe we can change the situation a little bit. Maybe you can turn around and find a different route. You know, we have to figure out if there's anything that we can do to change the situation. If there is, consider doing it. If there's not, then our only choice is to kind of sit and wait and adapt to that. Okay? And the magician takes everything, whether this is literally a train on the road, or if this is an interaction with another person, a situation at work, something with family, friends, something at school, whatever it is. I feel like it has in a large part, it has something to do with your creative projects, or it has something to do with the manifestation of this dream, right? And all the fire energy, it kind of is like, it's about your will, and it's about your creativity. And it's kind of about what you're trying to accomplish in life. I don't think it's anything necessarily specific. I think it's a lot of these little things. One day it's a train. One day it's somebody at work. One day it's the power goes out. I can't work if the power goes out, right? I would be completely in the dark if the power went out here, right? So we take each of these situations as they are in themselves, and we deal with them the best we can, okay? Because the last thing we want is that 10 of Wands. We don't want to lose all of our energy. We don't want to be completely drained of our vitality. Because then we have no vitality left to, one, enjoy the overcoming of the obstacle. And now I think that the Three of Cups is both being satisfied within ourselves for how we handle each situation. And again, the Temperance card is the idea of just being in that pressure cooker. It's situation after situation after situation that's going to test you of how good of a magician you are, right? And the Three of Cups is that satisfaction when it's over to really say, I handled that in a pretty good way. Maybe there's still some things I can work on, but I did okay, you know? And really it's kind of a mixture between the least amount of effort, but the most amount of progress, right? So is it going to be, it's going to take less gas if you just park your car and shut it off and wait for the train to go by, but it's going to take more time. Whereas on the other hand, it's going to take more gas, more energy for you to drive the other side of the town or whatever. But you're going to get to your destination a little bit faster. Okay? And we have to sort of weigh the pros and cons of that. You know? But what we don't want is to waste our energy, to have these energy leakages where we just get frustrated, right? Because these little small problems can snowball into greater problems, especially if we allow them to, if we don't maintain control of Two of Wands, control of ourselves at least, and to whatever degree possible the situation. Things are going to get out of hand, and what started as a small problem is going to be an even larger problem. Okay? So we don't want, this is the card, this is the position of what we don't want. We don't want to leak our energy out. We don't want to waste gas when we don't have to. Okay? And in some sense, this is all about, this is all about us personally going green, right? No, I don't mean that in the usual way. I mean like, it's all dollars in a way, right? If we're wasting our energy, that's costing us more in the rewards, right? It's kind of the red and green, by wasting all of this energy, we're really, it's costing us. It's costing us in the return on this is money that we're not getting back, right? This is a lot of energy being put into something that we're not getting a return on. So let's not invest our vital energy in that way, because that's just it's just leaking, right? And that's a waste, right? So the Princess of Cups at the end there, I think, is very good, because this is about your will. It's about your creativity. It's about the way that you are trying to live your life intentionally. I think that you've been going through a lot of these little tests lately. Spirit's saying that this round of the kind of karmic situation is almost over for you. Okay? And that's why I think with the Three of Cups, you're going to really have a good birthday, that this is kind of like, it may have felt like there's just been like one thing after the other. That's going to come to an end. You're going to get a pretty easy period of time coming up soon, right? And that's partly because of your magician. That's partly because of your energy and your approach to these situations. It's kind of like the difficulties aren't going to go away, but your response to them is going to be such that you kind of don't even notice them, that they don't bother you. It's not a big deal anymore. It doesn't take away from your joy and satisfaction. Okay? Let's look at the mystery card. I want to see some really good earth energy, because we don't have any pentacles here, right? If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Well, we've got the moon. Interesting. The moon is the portal to that dream life, right? In some ways, this is telling you to reconnect with the purpose. What is it that you're really trying to accomplish here in life? Is this a really huge goal? Is this kind of like living a certain lifestyle or building up some kind of future? What is the long-term goal for you? Okay. What is the dream, right? This is also a card, I think, that reminds us that every moment in every moment we're confronted with a dark doorway. Okay? We never know what's on the other side of this moment. We can predict, we can try to predict, we can be sort of accurate, but we have no way of, philosophically, we have no way of knowing absolutely what's happening in the next moment, the next moment, the next moment. We don't know. There is no way to predict it. So in essence, what we have to do is be ready for anything at any time. And to do that, we have to make sure that we sort of covet our vital energy, that we don't waste it, that we keep it stockpiled within ourselves, because we don't know if the next moment is going to be absolute joy, and we want to have some energy to party, right? Or if it's going to be a small challenge or a really big challenge. We've got to be ready for anything, because life is uncertain, okay? And with that, there's still the reminder that we have to go forward, that we cannot just stop and say, well, I don't want to even play this game. I mean, I guess you could, some of us do, I guess, kind of bow out of of this effort, of this kind of thing. I don't see you doing that. So I find that you have to be prepared, you have to be ready at every moment to go into the darkness, to enter into this dark and scary forest of life, of awareness, and handle whatever comes your way. And so you've got to be fortified, you've got to be strong, you've got to have as much of your vital energy as you can. Yeah. I think this is a really good confirmation here. We're going to do an extended reading as well, Libra. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Libra are on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.